This is Bubble. I'm already logged in. So when you log in, first you'll have interactive lessons, and I can show you what they look like in a new tab that basically teach you how to use Bubble. You can see I've kind of done all of them. They also have videos and manuals and a forum that you can ask questions. So I'm not going to go too deep into how you can use Bubble, but I'm just going to show you like a basic overview, and then I'll show you like the back end of one of my apps. So as you can see, I've built quite a few things using Bubble. So when you're done with all the tutorials and videos, you can just select a new app. You'll name it something like test for launch. I'm not going to start from a template, but they have a lot of templates, and they have a template store that you can kind of use to create an app. So there are lots of them, and I can show you on, I think, the templates page. I think it's bubble.is/templates. Hopefully I remember that link correctly. Yes. So you can see a bunch of different templates that different people have created. Loads. Yeah. So all these different templates that have different UIs, different functionality that you can kind of use to build your own setup. So for example, there is a dashboard that you can use that you can just add to your product. Some of them are free and some of them you have to pay. So let's go ahead and pick no template. We're not going to start from a template, and then we're not going to, the rest is not optional. You can fill it in if you want. It'll take a while to load. So think about it this way. You will have a front end and a back end, and the front end is all drag and drop, and you can have buttons, you can have text, you can have all kinds of things. And then I'm just going to close the assistant so we can just get straight into it. So I'm going to create a new page. So I'm going to go here and click add a new page, and I'm going to say page name demo, and I'm not going to clone it from anything. So here I have all this. So I have a completely blank page, and I have all these options of things I can add, right? So let's add some text and say this is text, right? You can see it as soon as you update what it is. You can change the styles. You can say, oh, I want it to be centered text large. You can even edit the style. Sorry. And here you can make that, maybe that particular style bold. And then you can go back to your design page, but you can actually just leave it blank and then control it all on your own. So let's say this one, you wanted to change the color to orange. Let's make it a bit bigger so you can see, yeah, now it's orange, right? Without affecting the stuff. So you can also have a button, right? And you can do things when you click this button. So you can say click me, right? And then let's add an alert and say, this alert will say the button was clicked, right? So every time this button gets clicked, we want it to say the button was clicked, right? And we're going to just change the style to a success one so you can see the difference between the button and the alert. So if you click preview, you'll see your page, right? And right now we haven't wired anything, so nothing will happen if we click the button. But if you go back and you go to workflow, workflow is where you control the action. So you go to workflow, you say click to end an event, and there are lots of different events. You can say if someone is logged in, they have like a whole login functionality. When the page starts loading, you can do something every X amount of seconds. You can do when something is true, and you can do when an error occurs. But let's say we want elements. So different elements do different things. So when an element is clicked, right? So we can select when an element is clicked, we click the element. So if button click me is clicked, we want to do something. So we go to element actions, and we can say, oh, we want to show the message. See, and you just click show the message. And you can set some settings. So let's go back to our app, and it will tell you, it won't let you interact with this page because it's been updated, which I think is a really cool feature. And this is what I was talking about, like on the web, you can just push your releases and force people, as opposed to an app where you have to force them to figure out a way to get them to update, right? So now if you click the button, it will show, okay? So that's how you use Bubble in very, very simple terms. I would strongly encourage you to do all the lessons. It will take you through all the things that you can do. So for example, you can save and modify data. You can create lists. You can use APIs. You can use conditions. And you can have like repeating groups, which I think is really cool. And you can even have data types. So let's create a new tag. Let's say cars, right? And then we can create fields. So we can say model. We can say that's text. And we can say release year, which is, let's just call it a number, okay? So in your app data, you can then go and add more cars. So we can say the model is Volvo, is Volks. I don't know anything about cars. Volks. He makes Volvos, I think. Oh, sorry. Maybe a 2000 Volkswagen. You can, let's add one more. Let's add a Toyota Camry. And it was released in 2010. Okay, so now we have those two pieces of data. We can go back to our design and we can create what's called a repeating group. So a repeating group basically takes a list of data, and for each row, it will display what you want. So we can say like, oh, our data source is going to be from do a search for all our cars. We're not going to add any constraints, but we could filter by, let's say your release year is 2010, but we won't do that because we want to show all the cars and then have to. And then you're going to change the type of content to cars. So now if you add text, you can say that the value of this text should be dynamic, and it should be the current car's model, and then a pipe, and the current car's release year, right? Fantastic. So now when we reload this page, you can see those are two cars that we created, and it's all dynamic. And so you can have users enter this data. You can even click add it to that button. So we could create two text fields, or a text field and a drop down where there are different models, and you can just be like, add your car. So let's do that. So I'm going to change this to add a car. Then I'm going to create two inputs. So all the inputs are here. So I'm going to put one input that says model name. Oh, I can't spell name. And it's going to be of type text. And then I'm going to add a drop down that gives the model years. Now, this could be dynamic data. So you could pick static or dynamic. So dynamic, sometimes you'll be pulling from an API. Sometimes you'll be pulling from the data in your app, but for now we're just going to leave it as static choices, and we're going to put 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, and then 2005, right? And so when you click that drop down, you be like, choose the year. You'll see all those options, right? So let's just preview that and see what that looks like. So you can see model name, choose a year, and all our options are there. Now let's go back to our workflow and say whenever this button is clicked, if you take that button and just click start or edit workflow, or if you just go to the workflow and pick that event that we just created, what we can do is say data, create a new thing. You're going to create a new car, and I'm going to say add all fields. So the model will equal to input model name, value, and the release year will be drop down choose a year's value, right? So I'm going to move this alert button here. You can also undo. I think I just dropped it. Yeah. I'm just going to move this here so that it shows after it's been created. And then on the design, I'm going to change the alert button to say a new car was added. And what that should do is every time I click the button, then a new car will be added to this repeating group, right? So let's try that out and see if it works. So we're going to refresh the page, and then we're going to say a new model cars, maybe a Honda Civic, and let's pick 2004 and then add a car. And you can see the Honda Civic was added. So let's do a 2002 Honda Civic, same thing. So it's really flexible and really dynamic in what you can do, and you can design any kind of way. Let's say, for example, we wanted to make the background of the page red. Hey, that's kind of ugly. Let's make it blue. Okay, yeah, that's a bit better, but let's say nice pale blue. So you can pick any kind of color. You can also pick a gradient, right? Or a video, or, you know, let's start from that blue and end in that, and end in white. Let's end in white, right? And when you refresh, you'll see that your page follows that UI. And you can actually even see, like, the things we created stayed even after we refresh the page. So that's how you store data. So yeah, that's a little really quick tutorial on how to use Bubble. So we can use that to create all these flexible web applications where you can get customers to, like, log in and create data and manipulate data and edit data. But I won't go into all those in this lesson. I would strongly advise you going through all the lessons. They're all fairly short, 4 minutes, 6 minutes. The longest one won't be more than 10 minutes. Yeah, the longest one I think is the 8-minute one. And they have basic mode and hard mode, and you can kind of learn about how to create apps using Bubble on their templates. So hopefully that made some sense. And if it didn't, please go and do the interactive tutorials, because they're very, very helpful in learning to use Bubble, and it just flexes that muscle of what you can build using Bubble.